What's up, everybody? We back with another message, another video. Thank you to all my new subscribers and future new subscribers. You know we do nothing here without God because everything is spiritually led by God over here. We cover the world from a spiritual and physical aspect to get the raw, real, and uncut answers. So anything you hear, anything you see in these end times, may you test the spirits, aka take the words and visuals back to God in prayer, as there are many Decepticons running around in these end times sent from the enemy. Have that strong, close, and personal relationship with God, okay? So God is saying today, take your time, all right? Haste makes unnecessary waste. And he put that in my mind because that's what my great-grandfather used to say. My dad told me, he said. And he brought that back for me. So this word today is so important for certain people today. Here's the deal. You know, we be so quick to be ready to get out of our situations and be praying every night to God to get us out of it. But don't realize God heard you the first 2 times you did it, you know? So you're in a hurry to leave the situation you're in, not realizing that God has you in it for a reason. To test endurance. He will let you suffer for a bit to test endurance just to see how you are going to move, okay? He's going to see if you are going to move with him, walk with him. And we've said that in another message. But the thing that he really wants to capitalize on is when you go so fast, you make mistakes that you don't need to make, and you blame God sometimes or ask God why you put me in this situation. But it was really you that did it. It was you that did it. And you have to realize too, when it comes to prayer, people make the mistake of always praying for things for their lives over and over and over, but don't actually pray and speak to God about what the issue that they're having is. They don't speak to God and ask God how his day is going. How is he feeling? They don't speak to God and ask and tell him about their day and what they should have done better and what they shouldn't, or if they should keep the same, you know. That's a relationship. It's not just asking something of a person or asking something, in this case of God, over and over and over. Okay, yes, you are to give your worries to him, but it doesn't just come in the form of you asking him for something. You could just be telling him about something and asking questions, and he hears and he wants to speak to you and listens to you. You know, God doesn't always ask you to do some certain things all the time. He may just want to communicate with you, to talk to you about your day and have spend some time with you. That's a relationship. So don't make the mistake of looking at God to only to give you something. You got to understand a walk with God is also conversation, obedience, lessons. And with every blessing comes a major lesson. So you might try to walk into a blessing that you ain't ready for, because a lot of people can't even make time for what they got right now. So you got to asking for a big blessing and trying to receive that and add that into what you already got going on. And you got to realize, if you can't handle what you're going through right now with time management barely, then what makes you think you can handle that? Remember, what comes big blessings comes new journeys, new struggles, responsibilities, all the sort. God is going to have to change you before you walk into that blessing. God needs to clean out that closet, quote unquote, so that you can make room for the new journey. You got to get rid of new people or older people in your life that you got to get rid of old people in your life that don't belong for the new to come in, right? You have got to get rid of old habits that are not great, old ways, old things in your life that don't belong, that's holding you backwards. Okay? These are important aspects throughout the walk with God so that you can walk into your blessing. A lot of people get so scared to do things, but forget who God is. Why are you scared when God is the one that created everything and he can control everything? He can move everything the way he needs it to move so that you can receive. So what's going on? So what we have to realize is we need to spend time with God in order to get to know God, because when you get to know God a lot more, then you understand certain things that are happening to you. You may not understand everything, but you're going to understand a good amount of things, because you know, okay, God is probably putting me through this. I didn't put myself in no situation. I didn't do nothing, but I know what I'm going through. That's okay, because God got me. The devil's attacking me. Okay, I know what to do. Okay, it's going to be things like that that you had questions about before that's going to be clear to you what's happening. Okay, and that's what's supposed to happen in the walk with God. You're supposed to be able to gain an understanding so that the new things, the new challenges that come are going to be the things you have questions about only, not the old stuff that he was teaching you before. But when you rush, what are you getting out of that? The devil can snatch what God has given you because you weren't ready. Remember, the day you pray for something is the day it was done. As long as it's not something that's harming and hurting you, and you are somebody that prayed with the right heart and not trying to use God, you know what I'm saying? God already did it. He already put it in motion. It's done. So it's not that the blessing itself is not ready. It's you that's not. And it all depends on how you move, how you act, how consistent you are with the Lord. It depends on you. You know, when I got this platform, I prayed and I made a mistake one time. I'm not gonna lie to you. I made a mistake one time because I thought that the Lord was telling me, like, I was watching. Actually, no. I remember what happened. It came to the wealth transfer, and I was watching all these people do things, and I noticed, like, this man is ain't no way he hear from the Lord and he only talking about. So it's the way he going about it. I knew what I felt in the spirit, but you know, being a beginner in the spirit, I did the wrong thing. I hurried up and did it when I knew I wasn't supposed to do that. So the dude's channel that it was on wasn't the one that per se was the one doing the wrong. It was the person in the video. And I thought that that was that person's channel in the video. So I made a video about it. And this was before the very first video that y'all see on the channel. And it got nothing. And I was so confused because I'm like, I thought that was what I was supposed to do. But because I rushed and did that, I made a mistake, and one that I shouldn't have. But that's okay. That's the type of stuff you're going to make when you start. Okay? It's going to happen, y'all. And you're going to learn from it. God understands that, and he's very patient with us. So God explained that to me. Down the road, he was like, now do you understand like why that nothing came from that? Because it wasn't like you had like a misconception of that. The person that you in the video, you knew it. But the channel wasn't the culprit. So by you rushing into it, that's what happened. And I think that was in September that happened. I ain't gonna lie, September was like make the mistake month for me. When I did this, it literally was, because I remember telling y'all something that happened in September with me removing a video on the other. It was a lot going on, but God was teaching me, to say the least. And if I had rushed into what I'm doing today to give you guys messages, and I was making those same mistakes today, thank you, Holy Spirit, man, because He give me these downloads. Had God rushed me into this, I would be making mistakes with a lot of y'all right now. And it's not something that's good to do. You know, some messages you might have been able to resonate with, but because I wasn't ready for this particular responsibility, I would have been making mistakes where it was important, and that wouldn't have been okay. So when God actually did bless me with the platform, as far as giving me the following to speak to and leading people to the channel, I was ready for it, because at that point I had a process, I had a system, I was getting more You know, it wasn't that I didn't understand how to have a relationship with God, or couldn't hear him. The issue for me was learning my gift, learning how it works, learning how to use it, learning how to do a lot of things. And we're going to talk about that in another message, okay? But that's the stuff that you're going to go through, the walk, the bumping heads on things because of mistakes. You know, the raw, real, and uncut talks with God. These are things you're going to need at the beginning to walk into your purpose, your next season. Okay? Though you can't make those same mistakes when you're walking into the new season, because the devil going to get you that way. So take your time with God. Go to God for everything. Have conversations and talk to God, okay? Peace and blessings, and I will catch you in the next one.